Hello. Recently, SS Sniper Wolf doxed Jack's films, and she likely won't face any ramifications for it. I made a separate video on that issue, but today I want to talk about why US internet laws are terrible, why she won't face any ramifications, and why a lot of other cyber criminals won't face any ramifications either, because what they did is actually legal. First, I want to discuss, though, what the US gets right with internet laws. For one, there's a wealth of laws protecting minors from just about anything that could happen to them online. There are laws protecting minors from explicit content, cyberbullying, and exploitation. In addition, businesses must maintain strict privacy guidelines when handling the personal information of minors. Many states have specific laws that aim to protect minors from the darker sides of the internet, especially in public schools and libraries. This is why many schools have firewalls and proxies that block online content that isn't educational in nature. Not only are there federal internet laws, there are also state internet laws, and in my opinion, one of the states with the best internet laws is Mississippi. In March of this year, the Mississippi State Legislature adopted Senate Concurrent Resolution 562, which protects against catfishing. For those of you unfamiliar with the term, catfishing is a form of identity theft in which the perpetrator uses images and personal information of others to create an online fake identity. They then use this fake identity to cyberbully, deceive, and even commit fraud. These are great laws, and it's good that the US emphasizes protecting children online. Other nations, such as Japan, do far worse on this front. Where US internet laws really fall short, though, is that they often apply only to minors and not to adults, or they only apply to the commercial sector and online commerce. So there will be laws that give guidelines to businesses, but they don't really give guidelines to individuals online. There are protections involving harassment, cyberbullying, and explicit content, but many of these are unenforceable or fall short in their scope of applicability. Specifically, laws regarding threatening and dangerous information being shared online are only criminal if they explicitly threaten to harm the victim or if they compromise US security. And this is the key issue. US internet laws are either vague and unenforceable, in which case they often get struck down, or they are overly specific and overlook key issues. In the US, there is a clear conflict between the principle of free speech and the safety of being on the internet. This creates a social contract where if we desire greater internet safety, we must give up some of our freedom in the cyberspace. Some people may lean one way or another, but as it stands now, we have enormous internet freedom, and that's why so many protections fall short. As it stands, the internet is fairly unregulatable, even if the government wanted to. It's hard to land somewhere in the middle, where we have reasonable freedom and reasonable protection, due to the vast internet landscape. Unless the US completely isolates itself from the rest of the world, I don't see any good internet protections coming into enactment very soon. There is, however, a country that has sacrificed internet freedom in favor of a highly safe online environment, and this country is China. In China, access to foreign websites is highly restricted, making the Chinese internet highly regulatable by the Chinese government. While this has undoubtedly made the Chinese internet a safer place for casual communication, it also means that it's an extremely dangerous place to be communicating any criticism of the Chinese government or share views contrary to the government's views. The only reasonable way to work outside of this social contract with the government is to leave online regulation to private corporations that distribute online content. A great example of this is the YouTube community guidelines. YouTube complies with US law by making the platform as safe for minors as possible, but it also adds its own restrictions in order to make the platform more advertiser friendly and thus make YouTube more money. A social media platform which has led to a lot of controversy, specifically over its content and communication guidelines, is Yik Yak. For those of you who have never heard of Yik Yak, it's an entirely anonymous social media platform in which users post something anonymously and users in their area can see the post and upvote it or downvote it. It's like having a local community subreddit. It quickly blew up on university campuses, becoming popular because of the anonymity. If you wanted to say something on Yik Yak, you could, knowing full well you wouldn't need to take any responsibility for your words. Yik Yak came under fire after it became a hotspot for cyberbullying and threatening messages. More recently, in a brand redirection, Yik Yak took measures to regulate posts and lost most of its popularity as a result. A larger example of this is Twitter, or X as it is now called, which Elon Musk purchased with the intent of making the platform a place for completely free communication, where you could say whatever you wanted. He quickly backtracked, however, as he often was criticized on the platform, and in general, the platform ended up becoming a melting pot for conspiracy theories and racism. The point is, there's a necessary balance between online freedom and online protection, and if the government doesn't choose a good balance, content distributors will try to. However, as it currently stands in the US, protections are few and far between. The SS Sniper Wolf situation has clearly demonstrated that threatening messages aren't always explicit, making many forms of doxing fully legal. It's important that the US takes greater measures to ensure online safety without significantly restricting freedom. The US needs a better balance of the two. Signing off, this is Yuhu1887.